True Warrior Football. True Warrior Football. True Warrior Football.
You are listening to True Warrior Football Podcast with your host, Corey Kid Smith.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Corey Kid Smith. You're listening to and watching another great episode of True Warrior Football. You know, it's still kind of shaky for me trying to just get the right shows out for you guys at the right time. My schedule is absolutely crazy, hectic. But regardless of that, we're back here. And since the last show against, since the last time I was able to do a show was before our Fort Wayne Snyder game, we went 0-2. Lost Fort Wayne Snyder in a tough one. Then the next week, we went up to Fort Wayne Carroll and lost to the Chargers in a closer game, 18-14, but a game that we still, unfortunately, were not able to pull out the victory in. It had a late lead and some turnovers, some costly mistakes on our end, really took the game away from us. And last week, we were finally able to get back on our winning ways, ending what you go back to last season was a 3-game losing streak. And really, we were able to do some good things and, progress forward. And we beat the Panthers from North Central by a score of 49-17. And it was it was a good game. We did some things well. We had way too many penalties. This was probably one of the most heavily penalty game I've seen under Coach Kirshner and his program. In the 3 years he's been ahead. I know he hates that. The fact that we had so many penalties, I hate it. It was a very much sloppy game. And for me, since I was calling the home game, it was not fun to see every 3 or 4 plays. Oh, that's a good run. Oh, it's another penalty. Oh, it's a touchdown. Oh, it's a penalty. It's coming back. That thing right there, it gets old. And it's really good teams like that. Good teams out there don't make costly errors consistently. You look at a lot of these teams out there that are top ranked, they aren't making mistakes that are going to cost them. And if we want to get in that place to where we are progressing forward, to where we're being looked at as true contenders, we have to cut back on that thing. All right. But yeah, getting back to the game, we did a few good things. McMoore, our running back, did very well. Our running game in particular was the best it's been all night. All season, I should say. We did a lot of good things. Quarterback Keith Jackson was able to make some great plays as well. Anthony Dennison, freshman quarterback, was able to come in the fourth quarter and lead a football drive, a touchdown drive as well. So that was really good. But this was a North Central team that, coming into the game had lost the last 14 straight. And so, I wasn't expecting much from them. Actually, they did fight very hard in the game. As a matter of fact, they are led by former quarterback and Warrior legend Derek Hart. And I had an opportunity to speak to Derek before the game. So let's see what all he had to say. Hey, Derek, thank you for taking the time to speak to me before the game, man. Looking forward to seeing what you do with that program on your own. Very happy to see you leading another high school program with sharing your wealth and knowledge of high school football with others. It's very good. Very happy for you and your family out there. Go, build something and leave a legacy. Now, saying all that, we're 1-2. We're going back on the road, mid-conference game. We're 1-0 in conference. We have a tall task ahead of us. We have the Bears of Lawrence Central ahead of us. And LC is really, you don't really know kind of what you're going to get from them week to week. Their first game, they blew out Tech like 50-something to 0. The next week, they were in a shootout with Westfield. They ended up losing 58-57, 58-56 or something like that in overtime at home. And in that game, quarterback Bryson Luther, who I knew was talented because he was a quarterback that beat us in the sectional first round game in 2021. He beat us again last year. Him and Duff, their wide receiver, were incredible. Tore us up. I think the final score was like 32-20 or something like that from last season. And it really, the score, I feel like, if I remember right from that game, the score was a lot closer than it ended up being. They had our way. They had their way with us. Had a lot of short field possessions. A couple of turnovers on our end. Had them in great position. And they took advantage of it. But we had a lot of problems getting stops ourselves. They had speed and places where they were able to take advantage of it. And that speed advantage is there once again. And against Westfield, Bryson Luther had, I want to say, like 380 passing, 4 touchdowns, another 100 yards rushing, almost 500-yard night. He is quite possibly one of the more dangerous and explosive players in all of 6A football. And if we do not come prepared to face the challenge of him, it will be a very tough and long night for us on the road at LC. And we have to play sound football on both sides, really in all 3 phases of the game. Kicking game was better last week. We were able to return a kickoff return for a touchdown. Panthers kick off. Sky kick. Oh, ball hits Kyron Williams. He picks it up. And he may go all the way to the... He's going to take it back. Touchdown, Warriors. No flags. Touchdown, Kyron Williams. No flags on the play. Great job, special teams unit. Able to do a little bit better on punting. We're able to get our PATs off a little bit better. But once again, all phases of the game must be better. All phases of the game must be better because we're 1-2. We're coming off of a win against a lowly North Central team. They're 1-2. And like they had the tough loss against Westfield. And last week they lost to Lawrence North down at Lucas Oil. And I know they hated that. They feel like they're a much better program than the Wildcats, their Lawrence rival. But they didn't get that victory. So they're going to come in against us at home ready to go. Ready to, show how good they really are. And they see us coming in and they're licking their chops. They're ready to take us on. And really, I don't blame them. They beat us the last 2 times that we faced them. They embarrassed us in the playoff game. And then last year's game was even more of an embarrassment. We have to do better against these programs. If we want to be seen as contenders, we have to do better against the schools that we should be better against. And that includes the Lawrence schools, LA and LC. Of course, North Central and Pike will do what we have to do against those, but also against schools like Ben Davis, who's coming up the week after that. We have to be better in all phases of the game for us to be seen as contenders. And I really, really want us to make that next step. I see the talent that we have, and I see like, man, okay, we can do some good things here, but can we all put it together? Can we put 4 solid good quarters together? That is what I'm looking for. That is what I'm looking for. For us to be competitive in a game against a competitive opponent for 4 straight quarters. And really, since our Cardinal game last year, we have not done that. Against Christian Brothers last year, we were competitive for about a quarter. Then the wheels fell out on us there. Southport and Perry Meridian in the playoffs, they don't count. Center Grove in the playoff last year, we made competitive for a bit in the second quarter, or we scored those 2 quick touchdowns, but we also gave up a pick 6. You know, it's been a long time since we've been able to put together a solid game where we were in it for 4 straight quarters, and we need to get back to that. We must get back to that. We haven't had that this year. Started off well against Fort Wayne Snyder for a quarter and a half maybe. Second quarter, third quarter fell apart on us. Fourth quarter against Carroll fell apart on us. North Central, doesn't matter. We're up 20 points before the end of the first quarter, and that game was already over. So we must start strong and finish strong in this game for us to have an opportunity to come away victorious. That's my thoughts about what we have coming back. Like I said, we have to do better. We have to do better. This next 2 weeks on the road at LC, then on the road at Ben Davis are 2 very, very key weeks for our program. We could come out of this being 3-2, or we could come out of it being 1-4, and that's a spot that no one wants or predicted. So it's up to us on what we do. Moving on, let's talk about our guys at the next level. Skipping forward to the NFL, congrats to our guys, Julius Brents, David Bell. Of course, they both made the 53-man rosters for the Indianapolis Colts and the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately, Sheldon Day was released in the final cuts from the Vikings. Michael Tutsi got injured in the preseason camp, training camp, I should say. He had a lower leg injury that put him on injured reserve. He was then released at the final cuts as well. Hopefully both of those guys make it on with another team this year. We're rooting for you guys. But until then, David and Juju will be our guys we'll be cheering on Sunday. I'm trying to think here. I have no clue who those two guys play this week. I will get more information to you guys about that. Stay tuned. Moving on to the college game. Our college game, we have a lot of guys in college. Let me go through the list here. At the University of Marion, we have Amarion Sanders, Curtis Faust, and DJ Ward, all freshmen this year. Key guys, contributors from last year's team. Also at Marion, we have coaches. Coach Trey Moore, Lee Moore III, is now a defensive assistant with the Marion Knights. He coaches safeties. And our legendary former head coach, longtime defensive coordinator, Coach Steve Tutsey, is now back at Marion. This is his second stint there. He started in 2016, like 2021, 5 years in a row. What he is back there doing now, he is the assistant head coach. He's also a special teams coordinator, and he coaches cornerbacks as well. So he was able to get there, go back there, brought Trey along with him, and coach them up really good. They had a huge win this past weekend, and the special teams unit was really good. Had a punt return for a touchdown, scored 2 field goals as well. Has a lot of great kickoff coverage for those guys out there. So congrats, Coach Tutsey. Very happy for you that you're moving up college ranks. Trey, continue to learn. I know you're going to be a great college coach someday as well, and continue to look after our guys. Moving on, UIndy, Jalen Coleman, who is now a long snapper for the Greyhounds, is a freshman there. St. Francis has 4 of our guys: Kevin Ford, Ray Smith, Olin Naley, and Marquise Cross. Marquise Cross is coming back to play in Indy. He had a long journey. Marquise is one of the last remaining guys playing from the 2018 state championship. So best of luck to him this year and the rest of the guys that are Cougars up there at St. Francis. Going down to Olivet Nazarene University, ONU, Adonis Adams, quarterback from last year, is there. He was actually just named a offensive scout team player of the week for the, I want to say the Golden Tigers, are they, I believe? Either Golden Tigers or just Tigers, can't remember. But he was just named offensive scout player of the week for them. They had a huge win this past week, so congrats to him. Keep doing some great things. Good talking to you as well this weekend. Moving on, Butler, my man Devin Holman. And I love seeing our guys come in and make a big impact when they, right away. Devin, as a freshman, playing in his first college game, they're at Montana. He comes away with a big interception. First interception for him in his first collegiate game. Very happy for him. Butler ended up coming up short in the game, but Devin, did what he could. He entered the game with 4 tackles, so congrats to him. Moving on, Kentucky Wesleyan has 2 of our guys, Chris Jordan and Ronald Baskerville, both running backs. I think Chris may be playing linebacker for the Kentucky Wesleyan now. But best of luck to both those guys as they move forward. Let's see here. Eastern Michigan has our guy Joe Walker. Ball State has DeJuan Eccles, defensive line. This is going to be DeJuan's second year there with the Ball State Cardinals. Let's see here. Oh, SIU. Our guy, Ramir Elliott, still moving along. It's his senior year now with the Salukis. 39 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, and their win this past week. Very good for him. University of Miami, the U. Jaden George still there. Last year, senior as well. One of the, I think he's a 3rd string quarterback for the Hurricanes. Either way, very happy for Jaden and his progression. He was started at Alabama, was there when they won the national championship with, I think that was 2020. Went to Bowling Green for a year. Then he had an opportunity to be a Miami Hurricane. ACC. Don't mind that. So best of luck to him. Wabash. Our guys, Derek Allen and Quinn Scholler, had a huge win. Derek Allen, game-winning touchdown catch. Derek entered the game with 7 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. Quinn started off another start for him. He started all last year as a freshman. Start this year off, second year, starting returning offensive lineman for him. So great job, both of you guys here. I'll be definitely looking forward to covering you guys more. And let's see here. 2 more guys I want to announce that are coaching. Our guy Jason Angebuwagu has made the leap back into HBCU. He's in the SWAC, all right, and he left NIU to go to Jackson State University, where he is now a co-offensive coordinator and an offensive line coach. So congrats to him. They started the season off 1-1, a little shaky in their last game against, I think it was against Florida A&M, but Jackson State is a very good program. JL and those guys are going to get together. So best of luck, JL, to you there. And also our guy, AD, Anthony Davis, is now the running backs coach at Western Michigan. He's been a lot of different places, coached a lot of good guys. And now he is in the MAC once again. And he's, using his talents to where he best can. Looking forward to seeing how the Broncos do this year under a new head coach, new program. So best of luck to you guys out there as well, AD. Keep chugging along. Love the career path you've taken as well in coaching college football. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Corey the Kid Smith. Just watched and listened to another great episode of True Warrior Football. Make sure to stay tuned. Warriors, we got a big one this week against the Lawrence Central Bears. Let's come away victorious. And as always, Warrior Band, take us away.